Hi, my name's Jake, and I'm here to talk about the new Eric Andre movie that came out this weekend on Netflix, Bad Trip. The movie was supposed to come out last April, but like many movies that were supposed to come out last year, COVID stopped those from coming out into theaters. But I guess at some point between then and now, Netflix bought the movie and has released it this past Friday. And I wanted to see this movie when it came out last year, but obviously that didn't happen. But so I had to wait an extra year for the movie. But now that I've seen it, I'm happy to say that it is not a disappointment. It's hilarious and it's crazy and it's exactly what you expect from Eric Andre. The movie is about Eric Andre's character and Lil Rel's character, who are going from Florida to New York City to talk to Eric Andre's character's high school love interest, who I say love interest very lightly because it seems like at most she was just nice to him. But they're going there for Eric Andre's character to confess his love to her, and they're going to live happily ever after. She walks into the place that Eric Andre works at the beginning of the movie, and he talks to her for a little bit, and she gives him her card, where she works at or she runs an art gallery in New York City, and she tells him to come visit sometime. You could tell in that scene that she was very clearly just saying that to be nice, not expecting him to actually travel across the country to talk to her and see her, but he does it. And the movie is part a storyline, and then there's another part of it that's just all pranks on real people. It kind of reminds me of the Jackass movie from a couple years ago, Bad Grandpa. It's very similar to that, and I saw an interview where Eric Andre was talking about how he talked to the creator of that movie about this movie that he was making, and it's definitely got a similar vibe. It's funny because the story is very cliche and by the numbers. Everything that happens in this movie is exactly what would happen in a movie like this, in a road trip movie like this. But so it's very obviously intentionally cliche. And the story, you really you care about the characters because they're funny, but really the movie really relies on all of the pranks to pull it through and to give you the laughs. All the pranks are amazing. If you've ever seen the Eric Andre show, it's crazy, and it's not something that I recommend to most people, but it's one of my favorite shows. This past season when it came out, I bought it up front on Amazon Prime. That way every week when it was released, I could watch it as soon as it came out, because I love that show. That show was nuts, and it makes me laugh pretty much. They're short episodes. I think they're 11 minutes long or something, and every episode is just from start to finish I'm laughing. So it's very similar to that show. He also does pranks, and a lot of the pranks that he does in that show are also kind of used in this movie. But the thing about these pranks is every time you get different reactions from people and different scenarios setting up how the prank happens, and so it never really gets old. It's something that they can do over and over, and it's still funny. Lil Rel's character has a sister who is out of her mind. She's played by Tiffany Haddish, and she's great in the movie. She starts out initially she's in prison. She breaks out, and they have stolen her car, and they are taking it from Florida to New York City, and she pretty much follows them from Florida to New York City, and it's amazing because the whole way they're taking this road trip in this bright pink car that says "Bad Bitch" on the back, and it's funny because the whole time it just looks ridiculous them being in that car, and the whole time that she's looking for them, she's driving stolen police cars and things of that nature, and she's the antagonist of the movie. But pretty much she just causes chaos. She's here and there, and she causes chaos. But the adventure is them going from Florida to New York City. All the pranks are hilarious. The pranks, like I said, really kind of drive the movie. The two pranks that really stand out to me in the movie is one with a Chinese finger cuff and a gorilla. The gorilla one is amazing, and two of my favorite lines in the movie are from that scene. It's ridiculous, and it's I love seeing people's reactions and just thinking about how I would feel in that situation, seeing these things happen in life. And some of these, it's hysterical, and especially some of these people's reaction. Every now and then, it seems so perfect, the people that they get. But one thing that really kind of like, I don't know, one nice thing about this movie is some of the reactions of these people. Like, you can just tell some of these people are just good people. Like, there's the movie at the beginning, Eric Andre works at like a car wash, and he runs, he sees his high school crush walking by into the distance, and he's talking about going to talk to her. And the guy that he's cleaning his car for is just so supportive of him trying to talk to this lady. And then later on, he talks to it looks like a guy from the army who's like, recruiting people. And that guy just like the whole time he tries to just be supportive to Eric Andre just falling apart. And you can just tell that like some of these people are really good people, and it kind of like makes you feel good, a little bit better about the world, I guess. Like, you get on Facebook and it seems like everyone's terrible, but then like you see a movie like this, and then like the people that he runs into, and it's like, yeah, I guess like, there's definitely bad people in the world, but there's also people in the world that like would really help you if given the chance. And that was, I don't know, that was something that was like in the movie that I found kind of heartwarming in all the chaos. But the movie is like primarily just chaos. I wouldn't put the humor and the pranks on the same level as like the Eric Andre show. That show was amazing. That show was 10 out of 10 for me. This movie was definitely on the same like in the same category, but definitely not, I guess, necessarily as funny as the Eric Andre show. The only movie I can really compare this to is Bad Grandpa, as I said before, the Jackass movie from a few years ago. And I like this movie much better than I like that one, if that says anything. And I like that movie too. It was also pretty hysterical. The other thing is, like, from watching the Eric Andre show to this movie, it's hard to not compare Lil Rel to Hannibal Buress. And Lil Rel's great in the movie. He's hilarious, and like you definitely feel for him more than you feel for the Eric Andre character, in my opinion. But he's still, watching this, it's hard to compare him to Hannibal Buress, and it's hard not to compare him to Hannibal Buress. And I do prefer Hannibal Buress. Everything that Hannibal Buress says is hysterical and like just weird in that show. But that's like, I'm only bringing that up because it's hard like to be a fan of both of those and not compare the two. But I don't think it's fair to compare because it's completely different situations. It's just, definitely like Eric Andre's buddy that's like supporting him in both scenarios. But all in all, I would give this movie a rating of good. It was, like I said, it wasn't as funny as like the Eric Andre show or as crazy as the Eric Andre show, which that show is like the crazier the better for me. It was definitely worth watching, especially on Netflix, where you're not paying for it outside of like what you pay for Netflix. I would have liked to have seen this movie in theaters last year, but Netflix is definitely a good second choice. With the cliche, very obviously like on purpose cliche story and all the pranks, you get a lot of laughs out of this movie, and it's definitely like something to brighten your day, and really worth the hour-and-a-half watch. It's only an hour and 26 minutes, I believe. So it's a super short movie, and it's also like, it's pretty much non-stop laughs. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about this movie and how the pranks in this movie compare to the pranks in the Eric Andre show, if you've seen that. Also, like my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I guess that's it. So until next time.